And welcome to episode 20 of our No Longer in Social Isolation Vodcast. Once again, there's no green screen involved today, is there, Syd? We're back watching some real, proper, live cricket, and it's not quite what we had in mind when we set out this morning. We knew we were coming to watch Hampshire against Sussex, but as I say, not quite what we had in mind. What did we think was going to happen today, Syd?
Well, on the schedule they had a couple of T20s, but we're actually watching a 50-over match. So they had a series of 3 weekend matches scheduled. Last week they got rained off, so they've decided to play 50-over cricket rather than T20s today. So that possibly significant in the terms of the fact that the regional centres of excellence, which we will see playing later this summer, are playing a 50-over competition, and that's how they want to be looking at the players now and seeing them in 50-over cricket.
And we were speculating this time last week, or roughly this time last week, that some of these friendly county matches could actually be quite significant in the scheme of things in terms of selection for those new regional sides, of which the vast majority remain to be selected. And we've actually seen, I don't know if you can quite make them out in the background, and this is possibly slightly stalkerish, but Charlotte Edwards, who's obviously the newly appointed head coach of the Southern Vipers Regional Centre, and also Adam Carty we've spotted here, who is the regional director for the Southern Vipers, are both here. They've been deep in conversation for a while, and they're obviously watching closely and intently, and potentially going to be doing some player spotting today, Syd.
Yeah, there's going to be some difficult choices. A lot of the Southern Vipers team will be made up of players that are here today, and there'll be some that you think that will almost certainly wind up there. We've saw Maya Bouchier. She's taken 2 wickets already. I think she'll almost certainly be on that squad, or on one of the squads at least. But there's going to be, obviously some tough choices from the other. If you take these two squads, you're going to have to throw away 11 of them and keep 11 of them, and it's like which ones are you going to take? So it's going to be some difficult stuff that they're going to be talking about.
And actually, we saw a video this week, which was of the Sunrisers coach Trevor Griffin talking about the selection process for that new regional competition, and he gave us a little bit more detail as to what's happening.
Yeah, and it's very much what we expected, really, that they haven't selected any of the players apart from the ones that have been given retainers. We understand that the England players are essentially out of it this year. They may still be formally allocated to a region, but they're very, very unlikely to be playing. So it's all about the county players that we've seen from last season and this season out here. So they're the ones they're going to be looking at. They're trying to watch as much cricket as they can over the next couple of weeks, and then they're going to have a big scramble to try and sign the players that they want.
And the London Championship has also got underway a few days ago. That's going on, so that's more county fixtures. And we saw that Surrey beat Kent quite significantly on Thursday, I think it was.
Yeah, a little bit of a turn up for the books. Surrey on a bit of a roll after having won the London Cup against Middlesex. And Kent obviously smashed the county championship last year, but Surrey are coming good this year, perhaps 1 year too late in terms of county cricket in some ways, and with the downgrade of county cricket. But some great for them and great for the players that are involved. And we saw a couple of good performances off the scorecard there, particularly Alice Capsey, who hit 70 runs, also put in a good performance at the London Cup, and quite an exciting prospect for the future, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing to think that she's only 15 years old. I think I actually put out a tweet during the London Cup match against Middlesex saying, if you want to know who's going to be opening the batting for England in 5 years, then turn on your live stream right now, because her name's Alice Capsey, and it got liked by quite a lot of people, including a lot of people with the surname Capsey, which... great coincidence. No, it's really exciting and great to see somebody so potentially talented coming through and being so confident. And I think that those are the kind of performances that maybe we wouldn't necessarily have seen a few years ago, when the age group structure wasn't necessarily as developed perhaps as it is now. So that's great to see. Yeah,
it's great to see our own young prodigy. The other countries have had them, and we've been saying where's our young prodigy? Where's our Laura Wolfart, for example? Well, maybe this is the one that we've found here. So great news.
Now, we still haven't had confirmation of the England fixtures yet, which we now know are going to be entirely played against South Africa, of course, at Derby. But we do think that the England players are going to be going off to train at Derby this week, and that's going to be quite significant, isn't it, Syd?
Yep, they'll be off to start their bubble type training, and they'll be training together for the first time. And working towards getting as much fitness as they can. It's going to be difficult to try and get something that's really genuine match fitness. That's going to be a struggle for everybody. They'll be obviously playing some inter-squad games to try and get them up to that level. But
one of the ironies is that they can't actually play in these friendly county fixtures, so they haven't got even the same amount of match time as some of the regional players will have.
Yeah, exactly. But obviously, they need to be in their COVID secure bubble. A lot of this isn't to do with the ECB. We need to remember this is to do with the government regulations. And of course, similarly, we've also perhaps seen this week a heavy indication that fans almost certainly won't be let in to the matches at Derby. And again, that's not the ECB saying that fans can't come in. That's the government saying the situation at the moment suggests that we're not in a position where we're going to be able to open up these elite sporting events. And so, unfortunately, it does look like the fans won't be off to Derby either.
Yeah, that's disappointing, isn't it? Because we really had a few hopes that there might be some crowds being let in, but unfortunately the UK government has now put our sort of reversal of lockdown on pause to some extent, and said that, for example, there was meant to be a men's game being played at the Oval this weekend and they were going to be letting spectators in. That's not going to be happening. So as you say, the chances of them coming into the England women's match is not quite as good as we'd hoped, unfortunately, but we'll wait and see what happens. Last bit of news this week, we've heard that there's been a few more WBBL signings coming out. Sid, you've been following all the action. You obviously enjoy spending the winters staying up all night, literally all night in many cases, watching the WBBL fixtures on the live stream. I'm perhaps slightly less committed, so what's been happening in WBBL?
Oh, well, we've had a few signings. Perhaps the most significant is that Beth Mooney, who's been like one of the definite standout players in the WBBL over the entire course of it, and has really made her career based on WBBL. Prior to WBBL, she was considered a talent, but she wasn't an Australia regular. And look where she is now. She was one of the leading players in the World 2020, and has been one of the leading players in WBBL the past couple of seasons. And so she's going west to Perth. And that's a very significant signing. Perth presumably have some money kicking around, having let Meg Lanning go. So they've been able to come in and make what's perhaps the killer signing of the WBBL. So Perth fans rejoice.
Yeah, we've also heard, I think Jess Jonason's going to be stepping up to captain Heat this season, so that's going to be quite interesting to see what happens. But we'll keep following the WBBL updates and keep bringing them to you as well. I think that's pretty much it for this week. We're going to go and watch the rest of this match with interest, perhaps not quite as much interest as Charlotte Edwards and Adam Carty, but with interest nonetheless. And we'll see you in a week's time.